All right, today is March 1st, and it is 7 a.m. That means it is time for Teachin' Fishin' Coffee Hour. Good to see you guys. Welcome to March. Welcome to our new studio. Lots of cool things happening, lots of new equipment, lots of new software, lots of new hardware, lots of new lights that are pretty bright. Really excited about what we got going on here. So anyway, let's chat a little bit. You know, we are starting to see winter disappear. I'm going to tell you, if anybody is thinking about ice fishing the rest of the year, you're crazy. You know, that is something that we saw, you know, a couple guys yesterday went through Saginaw Bay. You know, I was watching the internet. I'm seeing these guys. Oh, you know, you still got 10 inch of ice over here. And, you know, I fished on a foot of ice, and well, that's great. So, but between you on shore and that 10 inches of ice that you're fishing on, I guarantee you that's not 10 inches of ice the whole way. It only takes one little spot for you to hit, and you're gone. And I haven't saw the reports. I wanted to get over here today and make sure everything was working properly the first day we used this stuff. I heard last night, I mean, I think it was 11:15 the last time I checked Facebook, there were two cars parked, excuse me, somewhere on Saginaw Bay. I can't remember if it was Limit Beach or one of the other marinas. Two cars parked, and they hadn't seen the people yet. So I just pray that there isn't somebody out there stuck. So, you know, there we go. All right, I got the whole gang here, looks like. You know, I know it's a little hard. I know a lot of you guys are back to work. So I know we're not going to get back into our couple, you know, our 200, 250 people we had during COVID. I get that, but I do appreciate you guys coming. Kim says he just heard temps in the 50s next week. That's good. We're going to talk about that in a second. Dougie Ward is here. Phil Smith is here. Gary Spiker. Hi, Spike. Lauren Geip, Harold Mogenberg, Linda Ward. Hi, Linda. The better looking and the better fishing of the Ward family. Arlo is here. My good friend Arlo. Boy, he has been a rock through all this last year. Lee Gould. Hi, Lee. How are you? Jimmy Christmas, my good buddy. Corey Brown has been a supporter of us forever. Appreciate that. Roy Miller, our good friend from Fat Boy Jigs. Thank you, Roy, for yesterday. I appreciate that very much. Robert Cahoon. Hi, Robert. How are you? Mark Somerville. Tommy Cease. Bobby Green. Hi, Bobby. When do you plan on starting charters, Bobby? Are you going to kind of crank her up a little bit earlier this year? Let me know when you're kind of getting ready to start. Rusty Kimmerly. Hi, Russ. Randy Salves. Alan Young. Hi, Alan. Larry Cameron, our good friend. Jimmy Stratman. Morning from Missouri. Hi, Jim. How are you? If you are here for the first time, David Faller. Hi, Dave. Jose Bowen. Hi, Jose. I think I saw Jose did some fishing yesterday. Was that right? Or this weekend? I think I saw he was out actually on the water this weekend, if I remember right. Dean Ashley, Forrest Menzing, gang's all here. If you're new, if this is your first time here, please let us know. Let us know where you're from, and then please let us know how you found out about us. That's an important part of that. So there you go. Scotty Berg, hi. Mitch Lidge, hi Mitch. Jeff Willis, hi Jeff. Tim Minima, my good old friend from the PWT days. Hi Timmy, how are you? Thanks for joining us this morning. Matt LeBen from Slow Trolling LLC, good friend of ours, and they do a great job over there at their site. One of the things I'm going to do this week is I've been compiling a list of people who not only have great Facebook sites, but have great Facebook sites, help anglers, and have been friends of ours. So obviously Matt at Slow Trolling, Johnny Gall at Pro Walleye, these guys have just been big supporters of the fishing community in general, big supporters of ours. So we're going to kind of start linking with those guys. And I'd like to talk to both Matt and Johnny about maybe doing some cross promotion. Maybe we get the little prize package together, maybe do a little cross promotion, all three of us, because we could all use the help. Doug Ward says 2 days till his birthday. Happy birthday, Captain Doug, on Wednesday. That'll be nice. Ryan Clark says, good morning, Lance and Angel Group. This has been a godsend for a lot of us, myself included. Kevin David. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Danny Delmagalski. John Hakala. Good morning from Goochland, Virginia. Really? Well, there you go. Michael Sorensen. Hi, Mike. Timothy Gregg. Jimmy Mick. Hi, Jim. Ron Merber. Hi, Ron. How are you? Good to see you. Bobby Barnes. Good morning. I think Bobby Green says his first scheduled trip is March 26th. I think we're a week to a week and a half before our launches are open. Good for you, buddy. Get that little bit of extra early. There you go. No, Jose didn't go fishing. I must have saw something else. I thought I saw Jose went fishing this weekend. Paul Bulbitz. Hi, Paul. 50s predicted next week. Time to get out, respool, recalibrate, get ready. So anyway, all right, so I want to kind of talk about what's going on weather-wise. First of all, be careful, right? If you are heading out, maybe an inland lake or a small lake and you do some ice fishing, just be careful. I think the big lakes are done. I think that's pretty much an over with thing. If you're going to put the boat in, be careful. We had some guys that were on the St. Clair River the other day, did well, and then the ice broke loose on Lake St. Clair and trapped a couple boats actually on St. Clair River for about an hour. They couldn't get back to the boat ramp because of the ice flows coming down. So again, when I see this total lack of understanding by anglers of how this whole system works and what happens upstream and how it affects down, I just continually shake my head and go, I just don't get it. Just be careful. I saw somebody the other day. You guys might have heard me yell from my chair here. Somebody the other day caught a fish off of the shore, I think on the Canadian side, posted up a picture and said, what do you think they said? The walleyes are here, the run is on. And I about fell out of my chair. So that just proves to me that my job is not done educating. So we got to stay at it for a while. All right, well, real quick rundown of the schedule. Tomorrow, we're gonna run some archive footage, some older seminars that relate to river fishing, because February only has 28 days, so it kind of screws up our schedule. So first Tuesday of the month is tomorrow. We're gonna drop some stuff on the Teaching Fishing page, the public page. That is for everybody. It'll be some Detroit River stuff. The second Tuesday, which will be the 9th, we will run a short little 8-10 minute mini seminar, Cliff Notes, if you will, on Teaching Fishing the public. And then the third Tuesday, which will be the 16th, will be our big workshop seminar for the Teaching Fishing Anglers Club. And then the next week will be the Q&A for the Teaching Fishing Anglers Club. So lots of stuff going on. And on the Teaching Fishing Anglers Club this month, we had talked originally about maybe doing some other stuff, but we got such a great response about what we did last month in February, where we talked about walleye movements and migrations in the Detroit and St. Clair River, how the fish come in and kind of how they disperse and move throughout the river. So what we're going to do, we got a lot of emails, a lot of texts, a lot of questions. So in March, we're going to pick up with that. In February, we got the fish in the river and got them kind of moving. In March, we're going to talk about prime areas where fish spawn, what to look for. And we'll actually have some pictures on a map of some of the prime spawning areas in the Detroit River. Then we're going to talk about post-spawn, how these fish actually disperse from the spawning areas, how they spread out in different places in the river, and what types of areas to look for in the river for post-spawn fish. And then we're going to wrap that up with how fish actually move out of the river, both back into Lake St. Clair and back into Lake Erie. So February took us from the lake into the river and kind of getting the fish moving. And then March, we're going to talk about where they spawn, how they handle post-spawn, where they go to feed on the river, which is completely different than where they are pre-spawn, and how those fish disperse and head back to the lake. So by the time we're done with March, you'll know how those fish come in and out of the river both directions. And it should help you catch more fish this spring by knowing exactly where those fish are coming and going. So there you go. All right, today, our little topic of conversation. I want to talk about this. It's time, right? Everybody's getting their boats ready to go. So what I want to know today is what pieces of equipment are you adding to your arsenal, specifically boat rigging? What are you adding to your boat this year? What are you thinking about adding to your boat this year? As we get ready to get the boats out, what are the pieces of equipment you're going to put on your boat this year? Rigging-wise, it could be rod holders, it could be downriggers, it could be new sonar, it could be a new seat, whatever the case may be. What are you thinking about putting on your boat this year? I know that I've got some really cool stuff for the pontoon. I've got a 24-inch Lowrance radar dome. We're going to put up on the rod arch. I've got to put a marine radio in the pontoon with an antenna on the rod arch. I've got XM satellite weather and radio for both the pontoon and the new polar craft that's coming. So the pontoon's going to kind of get pimped out a little bit. We're going to kind of pimp the pontoon with radar, marine radio and antenna, weather, and Sirius XM radio. And then we're also going to put some mounts up there for GoPro cameras so we can actually start shooting on the water with our GoPro. So looking forward to that. So that's what we're going to add to the pontoon. The new polar craft is on the way and it'll get its regular treatment. We'll talk about that when it comes in. Bob Langenfelder is going to add rod trees. Great idea. You guys know that I think rod trees 100% change your effectiveness in trolling. They make a complete difference in how many fish you catch trolling. I truly believe that, especially on days when the fish are a little bit tough. I think rod trees are huge. Roy Miller put a Sonic Hub 2 in and a network to connect all this stuff. Sonic Hub 2 is basically an entertainment hub that hooks to your Lowrance that allows you to play music from an iPad, an iPod, a phone. Allows you to, if he's got Sirius XM, everything comes to Sonic Hub, and he can control all of his, excuse me, entertainment right through his Lowrance units, so he doesn't need a separate way to control. Really cool. So Roy will be rocking on Lake St. Clair. So you'll be able to hear Roy coming a mile away. Ellen Young, safety ladder. Awesome. Every boat needs a good boarding ladder. We've had that conversation. We'll probably address safety in a special seminar somewhere in March as guys get on the water again. So Al's putting a safety ladder on. Nice. Matt's putting aqua traction floor in his Ranger. That stuff is really cool. I know our good friend Lance Keene put it in his the Steelhead Hunter, the big Tiara. Really cool stuff. Matt, you're going to love that. What kind of floor did you have originally, Matt? Are you putting it on? Are you taking carpet up and putting it on carpet, or did you have vinyl and just laying on top of the vinyl, or did you completely strip the floor off and starting over with the aqua traction? Curious to hear how that goes. My new polar craft's gonna be the 4th boat I get with vinyl. I don't think I'll ever own another boat with carpet. I just don't think I will. I like the aqua traction, that type of stuff. If you don't know what it is, it's kind of that foam. That foam stuff that kind of goes on the floor. Very easy to keep clean, great traction in all kinds of weather. Makes the boat really look nice. A lot of those places can do custom graphics. They can do custom trim. So if maybe you want to put a little beveled edge in your floor, they can do colors to match your boat. It really, really looks cool. If I ever get a boat that I'm going to keep for more than a year or two, I think that type of floor would be something that I would absolutely 100% do. They're really, really cool. And if I had a fiberglass boat, with a fiberglass floor, I think I would definitely add that. It makes a huge difference on the Steelhead Hunter, going from that, fiberglass pebbled floor to the aqua traction. Huge difference. Matt, I'm looking forward to seeing that. John Lignos, XM weather module. I'll tell you what, the XM weather module, if you're a Lowrance guy, is awesome. It's a little module, costs a couple $100. I think the subscription to XM radio and the weather, I think, is about $300 a year, but it's really cool. What it does is it takes, I call it weather channel style radar. So you see all the colors, you see the lightning strikes, you see all that stuff that you see on TV weather. It takes all of that and overlays it on top of your GPS. So you can see rain, you can see lightning, you can see storms coming. If you get the, I think it's called the Mariner package, the offshore package, you get wind, speed and direction. You get wind barbs on your machine so you can see the different winds in different directions. You get water temperature. You get wave height if there is wave height monitoring stations around. It'll actually show up. All that'll show up as an overlay on your GPS. It's really a cool deal. I can't tell you how many times it's saved my bacon, either getting back in early, or more importantly, a lot of times, especially in the summertime in Saginaw Bay, being able to move 3 or 4 miles north or south and miss the storm. Detroit River is a great example. Detroit River is 32 miles long, and here comes a storm, and I'll pop up my XM and go, well, it's going to hit us here, but if we go 3 miles north of the river, we're going to be able to fish, and it's going to stay sunny. So that weather module is cool. Plus, you can build what are called watch boxes. So you can say, hey, our weather here in Michigan comes from west to east. Excuse me, man. So you can set up what's called a watch box. Let's say you're in Saginaw Bay, you can set up a watch box, 80 miles west of you, and once severe weather gets 80 miles west of you, you get an alert, and you can kind of look at the weather and kind of see what's happening. So that XM weather module has saved my bacon either from not getting wet to get stuck in a storm or from not being in dangerous water a lot of times. Really, really cool. Roy Miller going to put a ladder on his boat too. I like that. Rob Carnell, Farming Reactor 40. Help me, Rob. What is that? Gary Spiker, Fish Hawk and Rod Kit that he ordered from us. I'll tell you what, those are cool. Rob Carnell says garments. Well, explain to me how that works, Rob. Rossi says, hopefully adding more walleye to the net. I like that. Tyler Andrzejewski, yeah, smart aleck. He says, he's adding a picture of me to his dash. If you wanted a sexy one, Tyler, I'll be more than happy to send you one. Tim Timmerman added a Fish Hawk this year. Jeff Lanther, a Fish Hawk, marine radar and antenna. Possibly adding another Solix unit. Nice. Tom Cease, downriggers, getting rid of the carpet, at least on the back deck, and some type of seat suspension. Suspension seats are huge. We've talked about this before. I'm a huge fan of the Airwaves. They're my favorites. I've had just about everything. I've ridden in everything for sure. Without question, my favorites are the Airwaves. They're the most adjustment, the most comfortable, the easiest to get dialed in exactly right. And the beauty of the Airwaves is you don't get launched out. It has basically an air cylinder that you can control how much pressure it takes to go down. There's a second cylinder that actually controls how fast you go back up. So instead of, on a suspension, you go down and you kind of get shot up. The Airwave, you go down and it kind of just slowly, you actually don't feel the airwave, even in big, heavy waves, you don't feel the airwaves moving at all, which is pretty cool. So those are my favorite. When we talk about suspension seats, I love the Airwaves. Frank just put on 2 Wave Pros with new bucket seats. I like the Wave Pros too. The Wave Pros would definitely be my second choice. They are cool. Now the beauty of the Wave Pros are they just go into a pedestal, so you don't have to have a thing. I know with the Airwaves, you got to take out your regular seat pedestal for the driver and passenger seat. You've got to do some bolts through and then put them. For a guy like me, it's a pretty intense installation. The Wave Pros are pretty awesome, and they have the same type of shock absorption. They have a little bit of control as you go up. So good, Frank. I'm glad. That'll save your back, buddy. New bucket seats. Frank's gonna be pimping, man. Little bouncy bucket seats out there. That'll look cool. Send me some pictures, Frank, when you get it all rigged up. I'm looking forward to seeing how cool your boat looks. And he also upgraded his Gen 3 to a live. Cool. Frank is on his way, buddy. He's gonna be. I'm smiling because I love spring. I remember back as a kid. A couple of years ago. I get new boats every couple of years. There's just something really cool. And I think you guys can agree, there's just something really cool about getting a new boat or getting new stuff on your boat or getting back into your boat after it's been put away for a couple months, and being able to put new stuff on it, man, new seats, new Wave Pros. It's just really cool, We're like kids at Christmas time, so I can feel your excitement about getting back in your boat and playing with it. How much fun is that, right? And people think it's all about the fish. It's not about the fish. It's about all the fun we have and the time we spend getting ready to go fishing sometimes. Arlo says he's going to add a third rigger in the center of the back of his boat. Also wants to put another Elite TI on his dash to communicate with his motor computer for his I/O analog gauges. I think that's really cool. That's one of the things that I don't think too many guys are paying attention to is using an Elite or any other Lowrance unit you have in the boat to actually hook your engine monitoring to. Getting all that stuff from your engine that analog gauge doesn't give you, right? Actually getting water temperature, water pressure, RPMs, all those things right from the computer or the motor. Fuel flow, actually, putting a little sensor onto your fuel pickup and actually getting exact how much fuel. Yeah, I know to the 10th of a gallon how much fuel I have in my tanks, and that's huge. I know I have a fuel flow monitor on mine, a Lowrance product that measures the fuel flow, and I can see just by changing my RPMs or my trim a little bit. I go from 2.8 miles a gallon to 3.2 miles a gallon just by slowing down a mile an hour and trimming the boat up a little bit. That's huge. A little bit of gas every day times 150 days, starts to add up. So being able to monitor all that stuff through a unit is really, really, really cool. So that'll be cool to see. Scotty Berg, Fish, Hawk, and Trees. I like that. Steve has he has a hardtop Hughes. Nice. He's adding a 30-inch LED light bar and pod lights on each side for launching in the morning. That'll be cool, Steve. Those Hughes crafts are nice boats. I've ridden in a couple, and those are pretty darn nice boats. Jeff Willis cleaned up wiring at the battery and added a second graph at the helm this winter. Next on tap. Dedicated net holder locations. That's important. And then an in-dash VHF with antenna. Good for you. Cleaning up that wiring, that's important. I personally, as many boats as I've been in and rigged and looked at, Polarcraft does, I think, one of the best jobs of wiring, but we still, every time we get a boat, we got to clean stuff up. Cut this wire, cut that wire. This is too long, this is too short. This connection should be over here. It's amazing that in 2021, we can't get boat companies to actually do a good job wiring. So we're trying, do the best we can. But wiring, clean up your wiring, especially at your battery where everything goes. Having a stopping off point, right, where you come off a battery and go to a central location. We like to add C-Star high quality marine fuse blocks with ground bars. So whatever battery we come off of to run our accessories, our electronics, we come off of that to a dedicated fuse box, and then everything hooks into that fuse box. So now if you have a problem, one unit works, another unit doesn't work, you know that the issue is not at the power because you know the power is getting good because everything is hooked to the same fuse block. If you start running all that stuff on a battery, you get all those terminals on a battery and you can't get your battery terminal tight and everything is loose. So taking everything off of a battery and putting it to a place where you can actually grab clean power is huge. That's a big deal. Hi, Dale. Ron Merber says he's also adding a safety ladder so I can get back in the boat in a bad situation. 70% of people that drown are within 6 feet of their boat. That's a fact I did not know. I will add that to my safety seminar because I'm telling you, you guys, we talked about our experience last summer. Being out of the boat, being safe, being in a life jacket, being tied up, and still trying to get back in the boat with all the right equipment. I can't imagine trying to get back in the boat with wrong equipment. That's an interesting fact, Ron. That 70% of people that drown are within 6 feet of the boat, which means they either can't get back in, the people can't get them back in, or they have worn themselves out staying alive to the point that they don't have enough energy to get themselves back in. That's where a ladder, in my personal feeling, a ladder with a platform and at least 3 to 4 steps that go in the water, 6 feet, 5 feet. So a person that's normal height, 5.5, 6 feet, let's say 5'10" to 6 foot is probably average height. If you've got a ladder that has a platform and goes in the water 4 feet with 4 steps, that person can rest on the platform and put his foot on the ladder. Trying to get somebody who's been in the water and kind of try to keep themselves alive and maybe panic because they fell in, trying to get them to put their foot on a step that's 6 inches below the water when their leg is 4 feet below the water, never going to happen. So a good ladder, in my mind, that everybody should have on any boat, no matter how big or how small, should have a platform that is at the water level or below when the boat is resting, and that has a ladder that's 3 or 4 steps that extends 3 to 4 feet below. Now you've got a chance of saving somebody. So I'm telling you, I'm adamant about that. Matt says replacing the carpet that stays wet. Oh boy, wet carpet is terrible. Phil says got a Rytec transducer mount. I need to get dialed in. Building a rod locker for the center of the open bow. Nice. Maybe get some rod trees this summer. How's that new baby doing, Phil? Tom Miranda, a good friend from out east there in New York. He added another 7-inch secondary sonar unit on his transom, so I don't have to constantly ask the person driving the boat where the fish are. Yeah, I think a sonar unit in the back is important. Thompson is also called EVA foam. Is that? Yeah, that's. I think that I knew there was some super duper name that I was missing. John Hockla, a Motor Guide XI5. We got some good news about some Motor Guide stuff coming. I'll share with you in a week or two. Mark Somerville, adding a new VHF with AIS transponder receiver. Nice. Add the Olus Man overboard system. Good for you, Mark. That's awesome. A VHF with AIS. So basically AIS is an automatic identification system. You can get that now. I think the Lowrance Link 9 has it. So it'll actually, if you hook it up to your GPS, you can actually see, like freighters, they actually have to transmit. If you've ever used a freighter tracker or an airline tracker, you know, like a black box on an airline, it tells you, this is flight number 172, it's going 300 miles an hour, it's headed here. That's AIS information is available on all commercial vessels on the Great Lakes. You can actually, with an AIS-enabled receiver on your marine radio, you can actually see that information on your GPS. So maybe you guys who fish at the Sioux and it's a little foggy, you're not quite sure where the freighters are, adding a radio with AIS and be able to actually see the ship location and which way they're moving on your GPS is really an advantage. If you have a transponder, you can actually get your own AIS signal and actually be able to transmit that and say, hey, I'm a recreational vessel, I'm 20 feet long, here I am. Pretty cool. Pretty neat. I'm not familiar 100% with the Olus man overboard system, Mark. Please share it. That sounds interesting. Dwayne had some electronic problems last fall, adding a house battery and upgrade the wiring. That is a huge thing. Jimmy Steele, my good friend from out there in New York, says he's missing the shows and seeing all of us. Taking a road trip your way in the near future. Let us know when you're coming, Jimmy. Jimmy, you and I need to have a conversation. We got some good things coming next year that you and I need to have a chat about. So Jim and his wife, Diane, good friends of ours. They have a great business. We'll put a link up to his online store. This week, sells a lot of cool stuff. And he's got a cool little TV show. So we will put some links up to Jim and Diane's projects. Good people. Hard workers. Oh, my goodness gracious. If you have a project that needs to get done, let Diane Steele help you. It'll get done. It'll get done right. It'll get done on time. So good people. Good to see you, Jimmy. Tell Diane we said hello. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Phil says, by the way, I need advice on tubes to use to put the rods in. Phil, here's what I know. The tubes that are in $50, $60, $70, $80, $90,000 boats are basically a piece of plastic, or I'm trying to think of the material name I want to use, but just a piece of plastic with holes. And they still, to this day, in most of the boats I've been in, they still use those tubes that we used to use, inserts in golf bags. That's what everybody uses. That's what it is. So find yourself some golf bag tubes. That's all they are. They usually have a rim on one end, so you can cut a hole in a piece of plastic that's big enough for the tube to go, just barely go in, and then the rim at the top is a little bit bigger, and it'll catch and won't go any further, and you're done. That's what 99% of the boats still use, is they use golf bag tubes. They used to make tubes in golf bags, right, to keep your club separated. That's what most of them use, Phil. They're inexpensive, they're cheap, and that's what most companies still use. Phil Smith, he's going to add some trees, possibly a new trolling motor and graph on the bow to network with the helm graph. I like that. I like that. Corey says he needs to get the boat itself. Doug Ward, do you sell XM weather? Yes. So just so you guys know, I don't know if you know this or not, but if you need electronics, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what brand, trolling motors, sonar units, transducers, it doesn't matter if it's Garmin, Humminbird, Minn Kota, doesn't matter. We sell it. It may not be on our site, but send us an email, teachingfishing@gmail.com. Let us know what you're looking for, and I will put together a really, really good package for you. I'll get you the best price I can get you, and we sell that stuff. So, we talked last week a little bit about, things are tough, and we need every $5 you can spend on a bag of jigs. From the bottom of my heart, I say thank you, and I get excited about. But electronics, yeah, absolutely. If you need, again, Lowrance, Garmin, Humminbird, Raymarine, Minn Kota, Motor Guide, it doesn't matter. We sell that stuff. We buy it wholesale, and I guarantee you we sell it for sure no more than everybody else sells it for, and probably most times, especially if you're one of our guys, less than you can buy it at any store for. So yeah, whatever you need, send us an email. We're more than happy to get you set up. That's one of the things that we do, and I don't think we say that loud enough. We do that, and again, anything you guys need fishing wise, if it's not on our site, doesn't mean I can't get it. It just means it's not something that I stock and I have. You may need a 8.5 foot St. Croix casting rod for muskie. I can get it for you. So if you guys are buying any fishing stuff, I'm going to tell you from the bottom of my heart, let us help you. At least give us first crack at it. I don't care if it's lures. I don't care. Some of the stuff I can't get. Some of it I have to buy so much that I really can't justify getting it. But please, if you appreciate what we do, give us first crack at helping you buy that stuff, because we sell 90% of the stuff you buy, we sell. It may not be on our site. We may have to do it through an email because it may not be something we put on the site, but we can get it for you. Trust me. So Dougie, shoot me an email, and I'll be more than happy to get you a good price on a weather module for sure. Jim Mick has added another can of rubber spray to touch up his rubber-coated nets. I like that. Johnny Gall, a good friend from Pro Walleye. Hey, John. Who can give me a discount on a Garmin Phantom 18-inch radar? Greg Gilbert, send me an email, teachingfishing@gmail.com. Let me know exactly what you need, what cables and things you need, and I'll be more than happy to get you a price. Matt is using the new Smooth Moves. So the new Smooth Moves, as opposed to the old ones that were just springs, and this is, I will tell you this is the one I had, this is the only seat I have not tried. The new Air Rides actually do the same thing that the Airwave does, same idea. They have the ability to control how much pressure it takes to put the seat down. You can actually control how much pressure and how fast the seat goes back up. So that's the only seat I haven't been on. So I'm looking forward to getting with Matt this summer and actually being able to ride in one of those, because I would like to see how those work. So there's three good options. The Wave Pro, great option. The Smooth Move Air Ride, great option. The Airwave, great option. Lots of really good stuff. Lots of really, really good stuff. Mike says some large gauge wire for his fishing electronics. That's important. Matt Peterson, our good friend from Fishbone Custom Lures. Good morning, Lance and the rest of you. Good morning, Matt. We're thinking of you. Hope your back surgery and recovery is going well. Saw your post about Houghton Lake. We need to talk this week, buddy. Thinking of you. Hope everything works out. I know that was a tough day for you. So let's make sure we talk this week, Matt. I'll give you a call. Bobby, if I add anything, that means I broke something. But Bobby, you know as well as I do, something breaks every year. Rock says safety ladder suggestions. Not right off the top of my head, but I will get some for you, and I will make a post. I'll make a post later this week. I think what I may do is actually maybe rerun that safety seminar, put a link up there, and then put a link to some of the stuff that we talked about. There's a lot of good ladders out there. I'll have to get you some models and some makes, because again, anything with a platform, and anything with a platform that has a 3 or 4 step ladder that extends below it is huge. Gooch says adding some new Trax Tech rod trees and a new Lowrance Elite TI, which he bought from me. He did. Thanks, Gooch. So that's pretty good. Jimmy Steele, oh boy, repowered both his motors, not by choice. It is so funny. I had somebody the other day talk about charter fishing, and we were talking about a friend of ours that charters, and he's like, man, he does so many trips, he makes so much money, he does this and this. I said, well, you know that he burns about $200 of gas every trip, right? And you know that it costs him X amount of dollars to be in a slip, and you do know that he pays his first mate, and so you know he just put 2 brand new engines in his boat that basically were the cost of half of his charter income for the year. It's funny how people think we're rich. Like Bobby says, if he's putting something in his boat, if he's adding something, it means he broke something. I guarantee he puts something in every year. That's just the way it is. You use that stuff, you use that stuff, you use that stuff. Engines wear out, motors wear out, seats wear out, carpet wears out, bilge pumps wear out. I go through about 2 live well pumps a year on my Polar Craft, because the minute I get in my boat at the marina, I turn it on and fill the live well, and it never shuts off until I get back. In the afternoon, I turn it off, get back in for my afternoon trip at the dock in the marina, turn the live well pump on, and it runs until we get back at 8 o'clock at night. So my live well pump continually runs 8, 9, 10, 11 hours a day, every day on my Polar Craft. And it's sucking in dirt, it's sucking in grime, it's sucking in this, and they just wear out. They just flat out wear out. So that is a pretty common thing for me. I carry 2 extra pumps. Now, real quick, if you're doing something this spring, one of the things that I do on my Polar Crafts is I have 2 bilge pumps, 2 automatic bilge pumps, and I have a live well pump. So what I do when I have my Polar Crafts built is I have them all the same housing. So I use all 750-gallon pumps. My 2 bilges are 750 gallons, and my live well is 750. That's because it's the same canister, the same mount. I use the twist lock so I can pull out the motor, so I don't have to remount a housing. So the motor comes out of the housing, and Polar Craft uses Deutsch style quick disconnects. So I carry an extra pump with a quick disconnect on it, and I carry 2 pumps in the boat, and I can change with 1 pump. It can go in the live well slot or either one of the bilge pump slots. So be careful that you don't have a 500 gallon per hour live well, and then your bilge pump is 750, and they don't interchange, right? If you're going to do something this spring for safety, number 1, add a second bilge pump and make sure they're both on auto switches. That's important. But make all of your pumps in the back the same. Make all the connectors the same. Make them quick disconnects. You don't have to cut wires and try to recrimp when a bilge pump goes out and you're going up and down 3-foot waves. The bilge pump never goes out on shore when it's calm. Bilge pump always goes out when you're 5 miles offshore and there's 5-foot waves. Create enough wire so you can actually bring the wiring for your bilge pumps and your live well pump if you need to change it out through your access hole. You don't want to be reaching down there and not be able to see. So put in enough wire so you can bring the connector out through the hole, disconnect the old pump, plug in the new pump, put your hand down there, take the old pump, the pump out of the housing, put the new pump in the housing, you're hooked up, you hook the switch, you're going. Pretty important deal. Make sure all those pumps are exactly the same size, and they all have the same connectors. Put quick disconnects on, and you're going to be able to change your pumps a whole lot easier on the water. Just a little bit there. Doug Ward, readjuster, yeah, readjuster, install a new deucer to refish at high speeds. It's tough on the tune. It is. I really want to get Ryan Bombeck from Rytech over here one day, or meet him somewhere. We need to get him on that pontoon to actually look at how the pontoon is, where the transducer goes, and I think Ryan could probably create a mount for us that would put that transducer at the right height. It's really hard. It is really, really, really hard on the pontoon. So that is definitely something we need to figure out. Phil says he got a new truck. Does that count for it? Sure. If you got a hitch on it, it counts as adding to the boat, for sure. Greg says, learn to measure voltage drop. This will tell you how your connections are. Very important. you'd be surprised how much voltage you're using from what's at the battery to what actually gets to your units. Harold says, click it, boat release on the trailer. I'm assuming that's an automatic. That looks like it'd be pretty cool. Dan says, I plan to add an ADA battery to my main battery and its backup. That ADA battery system is so freaking cool. Hi, Dave. Dave Hines joins us. ADA battery is a really, really cool system. Basically, the baby is good. She's watching this morning. How exciting is that? ADA battery is a simple system. It's a voltage sensitive relay that basically hooks to your alternator from your big engine. Then what it does is it takes all the alternator output when the big motor is running, puts it to the cranking battery first, so that's 100%. Once that's 100%, it has an internal switch that separates the batteries and isolates the batteries, and then takes all of the charging power from the alternator and sends it to your accessory battery. All automatic, all simple, all done, very, very easy to wire in. Something every boat should have if you have a secondary battery that runs your electronics. Matt says, is the ASI considered communication in a tournament? I don't know. Oh, I don't know, Matt. Larry, great comment. Don't spend all of your money. Make sure that you refresh your CO2 cartridges and your auto PFDs. Great point. I do that every spring. I go through all of my auto inflate PFDs and I put brand new cartridges, brand new pills, as they call them, the thing that disintegrates and creates that automatic discharge. Great point. Be sure to get all of your PFD, all your auto PFDs, make a list of what styles you have, get new cartridges and get them changed before you go fishing. Great point, Larry. Good call. Nick says, who's got the boat out and ready? Just spent all weekend putting new radio dock lights and nav lights. Love it. Good for you, Nick. Good for you. Good for you. Good for you. Mark says, I'll add a link if I can after this is over today. Works wireless to, oh, okay. So that man-over device, the OLIS, is basically bracelets or some sensor on your, I think this is the one that, I think this sounds like it's the one that I saw at ICAST. So it basically sounds an alarm if anybody gets so far away from the boat, or if the person that's designated as the operator gets so far from the boat, it actually kills the engine. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Good for you. That's nice, Mark. That is a great addition. I like that. Working on a way to hook it in with the kicker. Ryan. I'll reach out to Ryan from Rytech. He actually has that same type of system. I think he's got the man overboard system. But he hooked it to both his kicker and to his electric trolling motor. He found a way to do it. So if he fell in the water and none of the big motors on, but the electric trolling motor was on, he figured out a way to hook it that it would actually shut off power to the electric. I'll get with Ryan and have him share that. I like that. That's something I need to do. I absolutely need to do that. Let's talk a little bit more. Lauren says he wants to hear more. I think that's a good idea, Mark. Maybe you and I will communicate the next day or two, and I'll get with Ryan. And Lauren, I think give me a couple days. I'll put together a whole little presentation on how that stuff works. I think that's an awesome deal. Steve is adding a kicker motor. Good for him. Kicker motors are always nice. Tom Pacholski, good morning. Do you run active scan or live scan off your XI5? I do not. I don't put any transducers on my trolling motors other than the down two-dimensional sonar that's actually in the head. If you put active scan, live scan on the trolling motor itself, every time you move the trolling motor, it has to completely redraw and find itself. So if you're going to put active scan or live scan and you want it on the bow, there are lots of aftermarket. I know TraxTech makes one. There's some aftermarket bars or poles that actually go in the water to put that on, so it is stationary as you move your trolling motor. There's also someone who makes a mount that the transducer is actually held on a bracket that's on the shaft of the trolling motor. So if you got a motor where the shaft doesn't move but the head does, that works too. What you don't want is you don't want that transducer, Tommy. Every time you move the trolling motor, you don't want the transducer to move, because now you've messed up everything. Not only are you kind of changing the angle of the transducer, but you're changing it pretty quick and then changing it back, so it has a hard time finding itself. So if you're going to go off the bow of your boat, which a lot of guys want to, and they should, you're going to need to buy a secondary aftermarket mount that is a pole that keeps that transducer steady, and then you actually move the trolling motor separate. So there you go. Johnson's friend is looking for a Lowrance Live or Lowrance trolling motor. Yeah, have him email me. We'll get him set. Matt, I can call you today, but it's going to have to be later this afternoon. So I'll shoot you a text when I can chat, and if that works, we'll do it. Harlow says when you buy electronics from Lance, you also buy the sport. So we do the best we can. Any word on the fishing show? Fishing shows are no-go. There will not be a fishing show in Michigan this year. So we will do something here in the next week with rods, line, jigs, plastics. We'll put some specials together. I'm already working on that. So we're going to have something here. We're going to do some river fishing seminars that we didn't get a chance to do this year. And we'll work on some specials for rods, reel, line, that type of stuff. So already in the works, no fishing shows. You have no idea how devastating that is to a lot of people. So there you go. Jim says, amen about asking Lance for a package. He did that with his electric trolling motor, batteries, wiring plugs, quick release. Yeah, all that stuff. If you need quick release plugs for your downriggers, if you need, we sell all that stuff, guys. We have all that stuff. Have access to all of it. So if you're buying fishing gear, fishing equipment, boat rigging stuff, or electronics, please give us first crack at it. Shoot me an email. I guarantee you within 24 hours I'll get back with you with my recommendations and a price. If you're putting together a system, let me know, hey, I want to add this. Here's what I have on my boat already. Here's what I want to add. Let me know. We'll draw you a system. We'll make sure you get all the right cables and connections. And we just redid Larry Kammerer's boat yesterday. We completely redesigned his Ethernet and NEMA system, made it much more efficient. That's what we do. I mean, that's what we do. I guess I always assume that people knew we did that. We do that. And I have access to everybody you buy fishing tackle from, guys, from Bass Pro Shops to Cabela's to Fish USA to your local tackle store. I buy the same exact gear from the same exact people they do, wholesale. I have access to all of that stuff. If you need fishing tackle, if you need gear, if you need rigging stuff, if you need electronics from any manufacturer, just because I'm a Lowrance angler doesn't mean that's all I sell. We get it all. I would prefer, obviously, we'd love you to buy it from us. If you're not going to buy it from us, buy it from a local shop. Make Cabela's, Bass Pro Shops, those places your last place to shop. I'm not going to say any more. Roy has got my HDS unit from me. Easy translation and a good transaction and a great price. Thank you, sir. Walking into work. Have a great day, Rod. Thank you. John Lignos got an XM weather module from us. No, we sell everything. And again, that's our fault for not telling everybody. So there you go. Matt says, let's fish the first week of April. I can't. I start charters on April 6th. So by the time I get my boat together and get everything inspected, I'm not going to, we're going to be on the river April 6th, if not earlier, with the weather. So I had an amazing offer from the guy that bought my last polar craft. So I'm going to be able to be in the water, so I'm going to be able to make up some of the money I lost last year. So can't do it the first part of April, Johnny. So, but we'll get it done. Dale's interested in a right ladder. I'll get some links to some ladders this afternoon. John, better landing net. Check out our nets. Our nets are awesome. 2 different handle sizes, 2 different hoop sizes. Send me an email. Let me know what you're fishing for. I'll make a suggestion for you. I think our nets are some of the best nets on the market. They're made by Cummings Nets, literally 3 blocks from my house. A company that's been around forever. They made a custom net for us. We went in and kind of designed the bags, the hoops, the sizes we want, and the handles we wanted. And they put together our nets for us. So we have 2 different size extendable handles and then 2 different size hoops. And they're all interchangeable. So you can switch depending on what you're fishing for, get the right handle, get the right hoop. Let us know. Charter captains are rich. Yeah, well, we'll see. Ryan, there he is. Last thing to add to the boat is a Wave Pro for my wife's seat. Happy wife, happy life. So Ryan, I mentioned you a couple times. I know that you hooked up your MOB system to kind of cut off your trolling motor. So don't do it here, but I'm gonna reach out to you. I'd like to talk to kind of how you worked on that cutoff switch. We got a couple guys here who have added that type of system to their boat, and they've talked about disenabling the kicker motor and maybe being able to disenable the bow mount. So I think it was you that did that. So I'll reach out to you and we'll get that set. Steve, wanting to add a Helix 9 side imaging. Great units, great idea. Side imaging is amazing. Scotty Keene, dock fees, gas storage, insurance, maintenance. It never ends. I was having a good week and I just got my insurance bill for my 2 charter boats. So, yeah, that kind of ruined the week. Nick Morales is going to add 2 new passengers. So, obviously, we can talk about it. Nick and his wife, Sadie, who, if you don't remember, met at one of our fishing education weekends years and years and years ago. They were kind enough to ask me to officiate their wedding a couple years ago. They just had twins. So congratulations to them. They just had twins. So Nick and Sadie are going to have 2 new fishing partners here pretty quick. So 2 little boys. Congratulations, Nick. So that's exciting. Bobby, thank you, Bobby. Don't forget to check. Jim Mick said this the other day. Don't forget to check your flare expiration dates. Put new batteries in your electronic distress signal if that's how you're going to go. Put new batteries in if you're a charter captain here in Michigan. Put new batteries in your emergency strobe light. That's all important stuff. Check the expiration date on your flares. A lot of guys get caught every year with expired flares. Dale says, yes, I need to, one of the things I don't do, I really don't promote what we do. It's just not my thing. I guess I need to, because I know a lot of you, I honestly feel a lot of you would buy from us if you knew we had stuff. So the store, I'm gonna make one last comment. The online store is not the only stuff we carry. It's the stuff that we have all the time. It's stuff we can ship right away. It's the stuff that we stock. Anything else you need, fishing tackle, gear, rods, reels that we don't have on the website, electronics, boat rigging supplies, boat rigging wire, add a battery, Lowrance Electronics, Garmin, Humminbird, Raymarine, Minco. We sell it all. We have access to it all. I said we'll sell it. You're going to get a price from us that's no more than where you can buy it from, and lots of times cheaper than you can buy it from. So just send us an email, teachingfishing@gmail.com, and we'd love to help you out. Love to help you out. No, I unfortunately, I think Jeff and Dale, I think, look at one of the things that I do a very, very bad job about is promoting what I do. It's just not my nature to do that. Probably should. But we sell everything. So there you go. Mark Sarno, there should be a wire to get that signal, same one used to enable the power on my Verado. Okay, Ryan says, go to his Rytech Marine YouTube channel and search back a bit. He's got a 20-minute video on his Fell Marine man overboard system. Feel free to touch base on the install. So there you go. We'll put a link up to that too. Do you offer the rigging install? Yes, absolutely, Jeff. If you need install and rigging, get a hold of us. We've got guys that do it. So we have guys that do the install, that do a great job of the install and the rigging. We also have a couple guys that do on the water training. So if you got systems you don't know how to use, you don't know how to, you don't know how to make your GPS do this, you don't know how to get your transducer exactly right, dialed in so you can read at high speeds, you don't know how to wire everything together, let us know. We've got guys. We do on the water training classes all the time. In your boat, or we can go in one of our boats and take multiple people with us. That's what we do. It's one of the things that we offer. So let us know. Whatever we can do, install, training, sell you the product, design a system for you so you know you get all the right connectors, cables, and let us know. That's what we do. Teachingfishing@gmail.com. Send us an email. Bobby Gray, I'm going to grab a couple of jigging rods from you. I have to take the kid to school. Have a good day. Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate that. Yep, reach out. So there you go. All right. Angler Quest pontoons. What boats? Everybody here knows I run an Angler Quest. I think that's a given. We're definitely not shy about talking how much we love our Angler Quest and our Polar Craft. I think a lot of guys, I think everybody knows that. I think that's funny. Robert Kiss is at an AIS beacon. The AIS stuff is cool. Good to see the Angler Quest people here. With that little question, that smiley face, I think I know who that is. But actually, we got the Angler Quest in the driveway, so getting ready to take it up to TraxTech. Like I told you earlier, putting a radar on it, XM weather module, an actual installed hardwired marine radio with an antenna on the top, a couple new TraxTech mounts, or TraxTech track for GoPros. So we're gonna get that Angler Quest pimped out here pretty quick. So gonna pull it up to TraxTech, and actually gonna pull up back to Angler Quest, and then Jeff from TraxTech is gonna come over and help us do some mounting. So figured out a really cool way to do it. So it'll be able to either stay on if the next person that buys the boat wants it, or actually be able to slide off a couple of quick disconnect the wires. We'll be able to slide all that off, put it on the next Angler Quest. So it's going to be really cool. We're going to kind of pimp my ride with the Angler Quest. Jason Kelly added 4 rods and reels for walleye and 150 and 300 copper for salmon. There you go. Kevin says, morning, a new member. Good morning, Kevin. Let us know, again, if you guys are here as we wrap up today, a couple more minutes. If you guys are here for the first time today, like Kevin is, let us know where you're from, number one, and number two, let us know how you found out about us, because that's important. How did you find out and end up here? That's a big deal. So, all right, looks like a lot of you have got some plans to get your boat kind of a little better. Having a boat is really cool. It's just really cool to have a boat. I've got a new Polar Craft coming. It looks like we're going to have some time to actually rig it. So I wanted to tell you, because this is an amazing story. So I sold my Polar Craft last year to a guy in Iowa. He came down to the fall trophy hunt, our education weekend, took it home from there. It's in Iowa. So we didn't get a chance last year because we got it so late in the year. We got it rigged and got it inspected, but we didn't get a chance to really do all of the rigging. So there's some parts and pieces. I buy my boat without gauges. I do all of my gauges through my Lowrance units. So I have 2 gaping holes in my dash. So there were some things we needed to do. This guy wants some gauges. He wants to add some more track to put downriggers out the back. We've got to do some more hookup. He wants to install an autopilot. So a lot of stuff. So Chris and I were going to have to go to Iowa, because that's where the boat is. We're going to have to drive to Iowa for 2 or 3 days, rig this guy's boat, finish it up, and then come back and hopefully get my new Polar Craft fast enough to get it here, get it rigged, get it dry dock inspected, and then get it in the water inspected to be able to start fishing April 6th, which means we got to have the boat here to really do that right, probably no later than March 15th, which probably is not going to happen because of the backlog, how many Polar Craft boats are selling. So I was kind of in a panic, kind of struggling. And I said something about it in I think, at coffee hour. And the gentleman who bought my boat in Iowa, Doug Wheelock, bless his heart, he called me the next day and said, look, here's the deal. He doesn't need the boat until May. Him and a buddy are coming and fishing with me the weekend after Mother's Day. So he said, why don't you do this? Instead of trying to get to Iowa and get everything done, then get back and get your boat rigged, he says, why don't you come? He goes, I haven't touched your boat and my boat was inspected, last year, so it's ready to go. He says, why don't you come to Iowa, get your boat, take it home, fish with it in the river, finish rigging it at home while you're working on rigging your new boat, and then when he comes the weekend after Mother's Day, he'll take his boat back home to Iowa, and I will be able to dump the new Polar Crab. I thought, man, that takes so much pressure off trying to get everything here and everything done to get that boat. Because again, for us here in Michigan, I don't know if you guys know this or not, and this is one of the reasons that new boats are really, really cool, but they're also a pain. We have to have very, very specialized equipment on the boats. And it takes about 2 days to get a boat rigged for charter fishing here. Then we have to have someone that works on their own schedule come and actually do a dry dock inspection. So they go through the boat. Do you have fuel shutoffs? Do you have the right fire extinguishers? Do you have the right battery cutoffs? Do you have your right wiring? Is everything connected right? Is everything sealed right? Is everything... They go through the whole boat on their schedule. They come when they want, right? And they check it out and go, yes. Then you've got to take that dry dock, send in an application to the Michigan DNR and say, my dry dock is passed. I now need you to come and actually put my boat in the water and do an in-the-water test. So they will come and do life jackets and lights on your life jackets and your throw cushion and your emergency buoy and make sure all your lights and switches work. Does your bilge pump come on? So basically what I do is I leave the boat on the trailer, take the plug out, back the boat in, get enough water, the automatic bilges kick on. So we got to do all that. Now, again, remember, that's on their schedule. So I could have a boat done March 1st, have a charter April 1st, and if those two people decide that they're not going to do inspections until the first week of May or first week of April, I can't charter. So it's not as easy as getting a boat, putting a couple electronics on, let's go fishing here in Michigan. So that's why a lot of Michigan charter guys like to get their boats in the fall. So we get a boat in August or September. Now we've got 2 or 3 months to rig it, get all that inspection done before we have to use it, in the springtime. So being able to go get that boat that's already done, already inspected, we can do what we need to do here in Michigan. That's a huge, you have no idea what a relief that is. So excited about that. Phil Smith says, Chris does an awesome job rigging. Chris McCauley is our main installer. He installed an anti-battery kit and sorted out a bunch of wiring on Phil's boat. So yeah, Chris is our guy. So we definitely do that. Again, teachingfishing@gmail.com. If you need anything, we're here. Dougie says his Angler Quest is having some work done. Kicker bracket and center console grab rail added. Can't wait to get it back. Kevin is from Traverse City, and he found out about us from Steve Fondley. Thank you, Steve. Kevin, thanks for joining. Up there from the northwest part of our state. Dougie Ward's a guy who loves his Angler Quest too. So it's really neat. The first year I had my Angler Quest was like me and Mike Avery had him, and now Dougie it's kind of hard to tell who's who because there's so many Angler Quest out there, which is good. I like the fact that my boat looks like 10 other boats. Before it was like, oh, there's Lance. And I'm sure Doug had the same problem. Now it's kind of nice because I have a lot of people who go, hey, I fished right by you all day today. Oh, well, where were you? They tell me, like, oh, yeah, no, that wasn't me. So it's good to be able to hide. I thought about putting some stickers and stuff on the boat, right? And I'm like, I really don't want to do that because then my boat doesn't look like everybody else's. So as Dougie will attest, it's nice to be able to hide. But boy, the Angler Quest fleet is growing. It's almost an armada now on Saginaw Bay specifically. It's pretty amazing. And again, everybody that rides in one, if you get a chance to go ride down an Angler Quest, especially in rough water, I tell guys all the time, don't come and do a test ride on Angler Quest unless you're ready to buy one, because you're going to walk off this boat and go, I got to have one of these. So it's that good, and it very rarely happens that somebody gets off the boat and goes, they're like, oh man, I got to get me one of these. So test rides are good. But just be aware that if you're going to take an Angler Quest test ride, be ready to think about buying one because you're going to want to buy one. They're pretty cool. And just how much confidence I have in my Angler Quest, we are actually going to add this year, we'll let you guys know all the details, but we're going to add 3 weeks of salmon fishing over in Manistee. We're going to have the Angler Quest over there for groups that want to bring 3 or 4 smaller groups of anglers that want to do some salmon fishing out of Manistee in August. So we're going to be in Manistee, I think, for 16, 17 days, doing doubles every day, salmon trips in mid to late August. So that's how much I trust my Angler Quest. I'm going to take it to the west side, Lake Michigan, and we're going to do salmon charters out of it. So if you guys are interested in a salmon charter in August out of Manistee, let me know. We're going to have the Angler Quest over there doing that. So there you go. Spike says, have a good day. Thank you. You too, buddy. Tommy Both added a rocket launcher for pole storage above the bimini. Those are cool. Dave says, throw some freebies in for him, Lance. That's awesome to hear. I'm going to take care of him, Dave. Don't worry. Do not worry. Michael Ray, new digs look good, sound good. Thank you, Michael. You and Brandy made this possible, so thank you for everything you do. Appreciate it. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. That is our first day of March. We are into March. It's before long. We're going to be doing this probably at 6:15 in the morning on Mondays, down from Libra Marina as I get ready to do a charter. We're going to probably adjust a little bit earlier as fishing season gets here so we can stay on our Monday schedule. Probably do it at 6:15 in the morning. Man, how cool is this place? So again, Mike and Brandy, thank you. Thank you to you guys for making this possible. Without you guys being here, this is useless. So we appreciate it. We'll have some details, some links for you later this afternoon, some details on what's happening this month, and we'll be ready to go. So before we wrap up, remember our 3 things in honor of our good friend Duncan Wooster. If you've got a project, you got something that you got to get done, and you're like, man, how do I get this done? Find one thing you can do today to make it better and get it done. How do you eat an elephant, right? One bite at a time. So find that one thing. Like Duncan used to come into my office every day when things were tough. He was with me through some of the leanest years we had at the store. And he would come in every morning, have a cup of coffee. We'd have a cup of coffee, and he would get up and go, okay, what's one thing we can do today to make this better? And I carry that with me every day. So in honor of our good friend, Duncan, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, in honor of our good friend Duncan, find one thing you can do today to make whatever you've got bothering you better. Second thing, reach out. Again, people are still, we're still not together. We're still not communicating. We're still not able to see 10,000 people at a boat show. Still really not back to, normal times that we have with our clubs and our groups or our churches or whatever the case may be. So reach out, connect with somebody you haven't connected with. Just say hi. Just let them know how you're doing. And lastly, be kind. That's the huge thing. If I can do nothing for you, if you remember nothing I teach you about fishing, just remember those 2 words. Be kind. If someone says something about me and all they say is he was a kind person, I'll take that. That will be a nice legacy to leave. So just be kind. And lastly, we've got a lot of teaching fishing friends and family members who are struggling. Our good friend Steve Dennis, his health is very, very poor. Matt Peterson struggling with back issues and surgery. A lot of us are hurting, right? So however you ask for help, however you pray, just think of our group, right? Just think of our group. There's a lot of needs here that our guys have that we'll never know about, they'll never share, and that's okay. But just know that a lot of our people, a lot of our friends, a lot of our gang is hurting in some way, right? Financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, maybe they're having problems, whatever the case may be. Just remember our group. A lot of good people here. And I can tell you some stories that a lot of these people did that you'll never know that helped me through the last year, helped other people in this group the last year. This is a good group of people. So remember all of them in your prayers. All right? All right, guys, have a great week. Go make it a great week. If you're around, remember here that 9 a.m. over at Leo's at Court Street. I'm going to be there for breakfast. You guys are invited. I know Rock's coming over from Grand Rapids. I think we're going to have a pretty good-sized group this morning at 9 a.m. for breakfast. So if you're around, please feel free to stop by. If you've got one of those JOBs, you got to go to, I'll have a cup of coffee for you. All right, guys, have a great day. Appreciate your time. We'll check in with you later this afternoon and tomorrow. Have a great week. Appreciate all of you. Have a great week.